Hi guys, Virginia here, and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the Kitaholic Kits design team using the lovely December kits. Now these are full of the Paige Evans whimsical collection plus a whole bunch of other stuff. They really are packed full of stuff this month, and they're super bright, colourful and fun. And I've chosen to use one of this month's exclusive cut files, which is this lovely heart frame, and I'm just kind of deciding what I want to do with it. You could totally go through and back all of those open hearts with pattern paper, but I decided I didn't want to do that today. I was going to just basically back the whole frame with a single pattern paper. I wasn't sure where I was going to go, what pattern paper I was going to use, and I came across this heart pattern paper. I love the hearts because then it goes with the hearts and the frames, but I also love the pink on the B side as well. But I decided eventually to go with this white with the colourful hearts. I just thought it was really pretty having the colourful hearts kind of popping through the background. Now I'm just deciding whether I want it to have a little bit of pattern paper overlapping around the outside, or have it straight up to the edge, and I eventually decide to run it straight up to the edge and just have it flush with the edge of the cut file. So I'm just mucking around with it. I've popped some adhesive foam squares behind it. There's a few solid hearts in it, so it makes it easy to back it with some foam. And now I'm just going to line it up with the edge of that pattern paper. Pretty simple to do. And then I'm going to trim off the excess with my scissors. Now I'm going to leave the centre with the hearts. I just thought it was a really nice look, and kind of continue those hearts from the outside of the frame into the centre of the page, and then I will find another pattern paper to back this with. So as I said, I'm just going to trim off the excess. It's pretty simple to do. Just follow the line of that cut file with your scissors. You could definitely try and put it in your trimmer. My trimmer's a bit difficult, so I just used my scissors. It was easy enough. Okay, clean up my mess. Rightio, so I've got this gorgeous heart frame and hearts. So I'm going to mount it on this. No, I'm going to choose. I did think about going there with that one, but I felt like it was a bit dark. The butterflies were lovely, but it was a bit too busy on busy, and I decided to go with this Dear Lizzie soft pink pattern paper. And I thought that was a nice kind of neutral, because it's so soft and almost tone on tone. It reads as a neutral. Compared to this heart pattern paper. So at first I was going to place it directly square in the centre, and then I decided, hang on, let's put it on an angle. There we go. And I really like that. I like kind of having things off centre and off kilter a bit, so I'm just going to mark around that frame with my pencil. I'm going to take a ruler and a little craft knife, and I'm just going to gut that paper. I don't want to waste it. It's a lovely pink, so I'm sure I can use it on something else. So just following the line of my rulers, and I'm leaving enough space between that pencil line and where I'm cutting to put tape with my ATG gun, so I can run that around, and then I can just sit that frame on top. Just going to use my eraser when I find one that works. Get rid of those pencil lines. Gosh, if I know I work this quickly in real life. Okay, running around the edge with my ATG tape. And then I can just pop that entire frame in place. Super simple. Just go and press it all down, make sure it's adhered to that pattern paper. Voila. Okay, so at first I had these 3 photos. These are of my daughter Addison and my niece. We went to a little petting zoo, and I've got quite a few photos from this to document, so I thought I would try 3, but they didn't really go. I wasn't feeling them with this, and then I came across this one. This is a picture of Addison. I'm holding her hand. She's just kind of stepping into the water at the beach, and it went a lot better with the softness, I guess, the softness in the water and the softness around the outside, and then the little hearts. I felt like the photo was fitting. Okay, so I'm going to use an offcut of this rainbow pattern paper. This is from the whimsical collection as well, and I'm going to layer it twice using a piece from the bottom section of it with the pinks and yellows, and then I'm going to pull it up, and I backed it with some of the purples as well. just to bring some bright colours around that photo, and that's kind of tying it in with all those bright colours and the hearts that are on that pattern paper behind it. So now I can go through my embellishments, and I immediately came across this chipboard piece that says the happy life, and I thought that was perfect. It goes with the story, goes with the layout, and then I didn't have much of an idea of what I was going to do next, so I was going through the die cut pieces. I've got the die cut pack and I've got the floral die cut pack from Whimsical in this little container, and I'm just pulling out pieces. I love the idea of that purple frame just offset behind it. That brings another pop of colour. I did pull out some of the hearts, but I felt like there was patterns on them, and I liked the idea of just solid colours better, so they quickly got taken off. I did, however, like the rainbow heart because that's tying in with the hearts on the background and then the rainbow pattern paper behind the photo, so that one's going to stay. I did try some of the chipboard hearts, or what I had left, and I only had a few, and I've popped them around the frame, but they weren't giving enough of an effect around that frame. So what I decided to do was get out one of my smaller heart punches, and it fits just perfectly within each colour of that rainbow pattern paper, and I've gone ahead and punched one of each colour, and I'm just fussing around with them for a little bit, getting them all up the right colour, and I've just got my rainbow pattern paper to the left of me for reference, and I'm just going to basically sit them on top of that frame sporadically around some of those solid hearts in rainbow order. So I'm just placing them kind of off centre of each of those solid hearts that are floating around the place, just to add little pops of colour on top of that white frame. I've just taken a few minutes to do that, moving them around, and when I got back to the bottom I realised that I had a few extra hearts, so I could kind of squish them up a bit, so that's what I'm doing, just moving them to make more room for my last few. And there we go. Okay, I quite like that. It brings a bit of colour to the top of that frame. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim down some little foam squares and then pop all of those hearts up on adhesive foam, just to give them a bit of dimension. Help them stand out a little bit. So I'm going to go through and do all of them. Okay, so just do my last ones. And looking at it, I realised that it actually wasn't, because the colours were so flat, they were blending in a lot with the pattern paper and the heart paper on the background. So I've gone over all of those hearts with some glossy accents, and that's giving them a different texture, and it's giving them a sheen so that they're standing out, and I guess not getting so lost within that background pattern paper because they're such a different texture, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But they stand out a lot better, and I love doing that with glossy accents because it gives a lovely little detail to it. Okay, so continuing with that little purple frame that's behind my photos, I decided to bring in some of the chipboard frames. So I'm going to do one to the top left and one to the bottom right of my photo, and they're going to allow me to add a few little embellishments around the place. I also found this little Polaroid style one, which I thought was cute to layer on top of that heart, and then I've just popped a little gold foiled heart inside that frame, and I thought it was a beautiful little detail. I'm going to layer up a few of these little chipboard banners under my photo just for some pops of colour, and now I'm just looking for some other pieces that I can fit onto the layout. So we've got a chipboard flower. I'm going to layer that on top of the chipboard just under my photo. I'm just trying to get it to sit right. There we go. And another little flower I'm going to pop down that bottom right. Okay, so I did fluff around with another little gold foiled heart, just trying to find a home for it. It's getting lost a little bit up the top, so I tuck it on top of that purple frame and it stands out a little bit better there. So I'm just looking through, seeing if I can add anything else. Not really. I don't think I need to embellish it too much more, so I'm going to glue everything onto my layout. So I'm just basically working from the bottom up. Big blob of glue behind my photo. And then I can pop some behind that yellow frame. I'm trying desperately not to move anything, but I inevitably end up doing that, so my efforts were futile. I'm just going to support that little rainbow heart with some adhesive foam, just inside that frame, and pop that down there. And then my little chipboard flower, because I'd kind of shuffled things over but it wasn't fitting very well, so I do end up picking it up and just cutting a straight edge on it, and then I can butt it up better to that yellow frame. I can glue that little chipboard Polaroid frame down. Last little bits of glue behind those frames. A little bit more behind those chipboard banners, making sure that they are going to stay. And I'm just wiping away a little bit of the excess glue that's squeezed out from underneath those pieces. And I wanted just a little bit of something else. I'm going to grab my Liquitex Gold acrylic ink and a very tiny little paintbrush and just splatter it around that frame. And I'm making a point to try and splatter some of that gold on those little coloured hearts that have been glossy accents. That adds a really lovely little detail to them and kind of includes them within that frame. So after that, that will be pretty much it for my layout. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you want to check out the kits or check out the shop, be sure to click on the link below. But until next time, bye guys.